I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
You're listening to.
You're listening to.
You're listening to.
Y'all are listening to What's Left of the South.
My name's Mark. I'm outside in the mountains.
Mark's not allowed to be inside anymore.
I've worn the same shirt for 2 weeks in a row now.
Nelson, shut your mouth.
That's
like you've never done the same thing.
Mark looks like a
You only
trucker
own one
with that,
shirt.
with that. That's not true. I own multiple shirts, but you look like a trucker with that headset. You're gonna go.
That's not true. I own multiple shirts for your information.
You're gonna try. You're gonna try. Oh, you're gonna try going to
excuse me.
Buc-ee's.
Excuse me. I went to JCPenney and my mom picked up multiple shirts for me.
Listeners, this is the first time. This is the first time in like 10 minutes Mark has actually formed an actual sentence. So there we go. That is completely true.
We spent the last 5 minutes trying to figure out why, 1, Mark is outside, 2, he can't sit in his car, 3, he can't sit in his own room.
The
4,
car's outside.
That the car is, you are inside a car.
Right.
Objectively,
car's
when you are in a
outside.
car, you are inside a car where you could hook up your phone, where you could have an air conditioner running if you need one running.
This is
No, we're
this is
good.
the
I got my
eternal. This is
vampire
the
pajama pants on. Got
this is
my
the
Good Mythical Morning shirt on.
eternal battle of the sarcastic Gen Zer versus the autistic millennial.
And I also got my little flavored
Indian
sparkling
culture?
water.
Nelson.
What did you say? What kind of culture?
Is this Indian culture?
You said it
Like,
again.
we're only allowed outside? Is that? Are you going to ask me if we still live in teepees?
You still live in
Do you guys
teepees?
have plumbing?
No,
Do you
it's
guys
a wig.
eat cooked food?
It's a wigwam.
Yeah,
I heard that
shut
song,
up.
Indian Outlaw.
There's an M in that word.
Migma.
No,
bleh.
wigwam.
Wigwam.
You goddamn idiot. What the fuck is happening? Why is no one normal in here?
We need to invest in like a screen like recording thing. It's okay if it's just on me.
Take a screenshot of
Because,
Mark
like,
sitting outside with
people-
traffic going behind him.
If we were a visual podcast right now, it would be Kai just like going back and forth between frustration, rage, and laughing. Mark just like this shit-eating grin, holding this like a beverage that's outside on his porch, facing like the camera
water.
facing traffic.
I'm not on the porch.
And then
I'm in the
me-
driveway.
Jesus fucking Christ. I hate Gen Z with a fucking passion. I really hope we go to war with China so your generation can wipe out. And then I have my background in San Francisco because my apartment's a mess. So there you go.
Can y'all hear my brother skateboarding or do I need to move?
No, we can't hear your brother skateboarding.
You sure?
Positive. That's a Gen Alpha.
Okay.
It's another generation.
So, what would impact at this point if we could hear your brother?
I would
skateboarding?
His
move.
brother just careens into Mark.
It's just
That could
it's
happen.
That would
par
be
for the
best.
course right now. Just par for the course with the traffic and the outdoors and the Britney mic.
The bird.
It's Brittany, bitch.
So, hi guys.
Hey. When was the last time we recorded? Was it December?
Fuck. Shit. What month is
I
it?
think we need to throw the like knowing what we're talking about thing out the window and just do like a weekly like talking shit thing. Because
No,
no
because
one
then we're
knows
going to
what's going
sound
on
like
anymore.
every other podcast.
We'll never
But
be
we're
every other
not.
podcast. We'll never, because we're not three
We're
white dudes
special.
yapping
We're
about
just one.
cryptocurrency. We're gonna break the stereotype that we don't have to be three white men to be funny. We are
Yeah, this
hilarious.
is hugely hilarious right now for other people who can't see what's happening.
Exactly.
When was our last episode?
Well, I think it was January. So, brother, do a kickflip.
Oh no, it comes up as your fucking playlist when I search for it.
Ugh.
Okay, the last one was released on the 2nd of February, but I know that we recorded it in January, so
Also, that playlist is bad, so don't listen to it.
I agree.
what was that?
Sebastian fucking skate.
I was out here first. What do you want me to tell Gen Alpha to go look at another screen?
Yeah.
What are you doing outside? You need
What are you doing outside?
What are you doing outside?
Why are we having this
Because-
conversation? Okay.
I'll see if I can.
Mark looks like he's about to undersell me or like not give me full like turn in price for my game at GameStop. I'm not gonna lie. He's like the arms
Because nobody
folded.
buys physical games anymore, Nelson. Of course, he's not going to give you full price.
Literally about
Yeah,
to get
losing your
robbed at
childhood's
GameStop.
dead.
I can't wait to invade fucking China.
Let's see. I'm
This
moving.
trade war is gonna turn into a hot war, and Gen Alpha's gonna be like, oh, Gen Z's gonna be like, oh shit.
By the time we get to a hot war, everybody's going to be so fucking like famished from their
And we're all,
nobody's able to buy
we're all
food.
transgender anyway, so no one. We can't do that. We can't serve in the army.
Trump's gonna have to go back on that and let y'all in.
No, because he said that federal funds can't pay for whatever. So then you're gonna have all these like sick people that you can't even use for like cannon
Everyone
fodder.
Nobody has any money to eat. Nobody can get health care. Like, we're gonna let trans people back in maybe to fight
We're
our
so
fights.
fun. I love how people are like the stock market. Well, the stock market lost like whatever the $3 trillion or $4 trillion, and they're like
And I'm still
the stock
poor.
market's up $2 trillion. I'm like, it's still overall down. It's still bad.
That
For
don't
your
mean nothing to
average
me.
person who couldn't invest in the first place, it's just like all the invisible money's back, I guess.
Right, exactly.
Yay.
Like, okay.
Did Trump just pull off a huge pump and dump like worldwide?
That's exactly what he did. He
Yeah,
did market
exactly.
manipulation.
I don't want him to do either one of those things.
Here we
No
go.
marketing, no manipulating.
No, never mind.
Pumping and
I know
dumping.
what it means. It's just
There you go, Mark making everything weird, just like Gen Z always does.
shut your
Mark
mouth.
is
It's called
wandering now.
humor.
And here he's wandering. We got the typical Gen Z forehead fucking screen. Here we
Well, you
go.
can see the sky. Here, do you want to
Oh my
look
god.
around?
This
Anyway,
I'm gonna
episode
go-
is just gonna be like two millennial parents on a call with our adult son who's just wandering the fucking fields.
I wanted to have an abortion, but no, you gotta have the kid.
Well, you live in Alabama, so maybe you should have moved. Right?
Wait,
You
we
should
should
have got
bring
it
that up.
moved.
We should bring that up. Yellowhammer won their
Oh yeah, Yellowhammer won their lawsuit against the state, so now the
they
state
can
can't
fund.
go. Yeah, and they can fund people going out of state to get abortions and not get charged with conspiracy to commit murder. Yay!
Yay.
Little things in life.
This was unenthusiastic yay.
Nobody can afford that either. Nobody can afford shit. I met this in the grocery store here right after we got back. We went to pick up a whole bunch of food after we got back to England, and the kid that was working the checkout started talking to us, and like I said, oh, we just came back from holiday, came back from America, and he goes, oh, I want to go out there, and like clocked my accent and everything. and he says that he wants to go to Austin. And the first thing that came to the back of my lips was like, you can't afford it. Like, I can guarantee you can't afford it. But I didn't say that because he was so young and hopeful and he wants to go study law in Austin. Like, you got to have hundreds of thousands to do something like
Millions.
that.
Oh my God, poor kid.
Like, God love him. He thinks that he can do this. I hope he can. Maybe.
You can do whatever you want, kid. Go follow your dreams. Climb every mountain. Whatever the song says.
Yell it from the mountains, go yell it on the seas, or whatever that thing is.
Go what?
What's that hymnal?
Go tell it on the
Someone
mountain.
else. Yeah.
Over
we just
Yeah.
had
the
a whole long
hills
talk.
and everywhere.
Mark
I
and I had a
know. We
long
talked
talk
about-
like, because both of us are like interior design all people, like we're both into that kind of thing. And like I sent a TikTok of like people that can decorate their houses with like the really like gothic ex-Catholic stuff, like a whole lot of crosses and like really religious like themes, and they're decorating. And I was like, it can't be me, because I always see it as inherently oppressive, but I guess there's a lot of people who don't see it like that. And Mark was like, yeah, me too. And then like the next day he messaged me, is like, wait,
Yeah, I'm a
wait,
hypocrite.
I listen to like hymnals all the time. Like,
Do
Yeah.
I believe in that? No. But is it a jam? Yeah. So, they popped off.
That one hit
They were
back from
cooking.
back from the 1200s. This
All
topped
right.
the chart back in
1200s?
1172.
The 1200s?
Yes, Mark, the 1200s.
It'd be like a lute and like
Exactly.
singing in old English. 1200s.
Speaking of which, we should talk about our holiday where we did. It was
Back in
very
medieval times.
heavily medieval themed vacation we had this year.
And it wasn't because of where we went. We were just in Florida. And that's just how the law was.
Very medieval in Florida. All right, who wants to start?
Mark showed up in Montgomery at my mom's house.
I'm gonna
And,
shit my pants. Like on the way there. It was bad. It was like I didn't even I don't know. It was bad.
Okay.
Bad. So that was a great start.
And
I
we
was
got some
thundering.
Oh God. We got some snacks from Publix, and then we slept and we hit the road pretty early the next day. We were like, oh yeah, we'll get there around like 3 or 4. And I'm like, oh crap, we're gonna get there like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And it didn't
It's
seem like
always
the
better to
drive
be
down this
earlier.
time was that long.
Because you
It seemed
took
like
the toll roads.
even before
Like I've been
that,
telling
felt
you
like-
the
felt
whole
like we
Like we
got-
live
time.
in a civilized society.
yeah, civilized society with toll roads. It felt like we got out of Alabama pretty quicker. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, we made it down there, and Kai and I had to pretend to be related because the room was in her name.
I always get the hotel room for these guys because I get rewards through the booking app that I use. So I get like 10% off. And that's like when you're spending hundreds, like 10% is worthwhile. So like I got the room for them, and I always put that Nelson is the main guest, that I'm paying, but Nelson is the main guest. And I guess I forgot this time, even though every time I do this, I'm like on the phone with these guys while I'm booking it. So I don't know how I just like poof right out of my mind, didn't do it this time. But he ends up like calling me while I'm trying to load up my okay.
While he was not using the air conditioner.
I was using the fucking air conditioner. Okay,
No,
Mark.
y'all.
The AC worked.
As a fat
Mark-
gay person,
oh my
I was about to
God.
like
Jesus fucking Christ! I had
crawling.
the fucking
you know that
AC
scene
on.
in
You
Hercules
little
where he's
shit.
trying to lift the ghost, like the soul, out of like the river Styx, and it's just that
I'm gonna
crumpled,
throw you in the river
like,
Styx.
frail. It just like wilts away. That was me melting because
Oh my
he wouldn't put the air
God.
conditioner on, and he lied saying it was fixed.
It was fixed. The AC was on and it worked. Mark is just a bitch.
Okay, between the two of you, can I ask why when Nelson had to call me and say that he couldn't check in and I'd have to come down there and y'all didn't know how long it was going to take for me to get down there, why you didn't just park the car and sit in the air conditioned lobby?
That's Mark's fault.
How's it my fault?
Guys,
I was already dissociating by that point because I was hot. So I wasn't
Christ.
a person yet.
The AC was on.
Not only that.
It wasn't.
Hold on.
It was
Hold on.
like a degree.
I finally showed up. Thankfully, I was only so the road that they were staying on is a very long, busy road, but I was just on like the other side of it. So it took me like 15 minutes to get there after Nelson called me. Like I show up, I have my husband and my mother in the car with me, and I have to like show up and get them checked in. So we're like cosplaying that we're relatives and we're like sharing, because if you squint, Nelson and I could pass for being relatives. So like
we actually did play that off really well. And you said something, I was like, that's why Mom always said you were smarter or something.
Why are you turning into like an improv session?
It really did.
I did it
because we're in Florida and you're contraband, Mark. We had to hide you.
Like the last thing I needed was like weird looks about all this, and I had to ask for 2 parking passes. Like we showed up separately, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking these hotel people definitely think I've just showed up here with my wedding ring on to an affair with somebody that I'm like sharing this hotel with. So I like went hard on the like, okay, we're siblings. We met up here because we're siblings. And like, I'm thinking that they're thinking this while I have my husband and my mother in the car.
And then no, this is how anxiety works. I bet the hotel employees didn't give a shit.
No, of course they didn't. They see this shit all the time.
Yeah.
But there's also the point where it's like Nelson meets me. So like the way the hotel like is situated, they're parked and like an outside parking space, and then there's a big like portico, like breezeway that you can drive up and check in, and then there's like obviously you go inside and there's the lobby. So like I can see their car, I drive past their car, beep to let them know that it's me, come around the other side. Nelson gets out of his car and comes to meet me. He like hugs my mom, is like talking to my mom. We go inside. When I come back out, my mom literally says, "Is Mark okay? Is he in the car?" And I said, yeah.
No, I was not okay.
The car was on. The windows are rolled down. Okay, it's not my fault. You're on antidepressants, Mark, and get overheated. I recharged the AC.
Was wet.
I recharged the AC.
I should not be in a car sweating. I should not be
locking you in the car and rolling up the windows, and I'm gonna leave you in there like a baby. That I don't want.
Okay, so this is gonna be uploaded to the internet, and then when I disappear.
I did it, America. If Mark disappears, I fucking did it. I crashed out. I snapped. I did what every white man does, and I murdered him
into a car that's running with an air conditioning on.
And I stabbed him.
As he needs it. What the hell is that for?
With his arms crossed.
He's poking.
Oh no! Oh yeah, someone's trying to call me. So I was ignoring their call. And that could have just went. But yeah, no, I was dying, and your back should not be covered in sweat if you're sitting inside of a car with a working air conditioner.
That's your fault, bud.
It's not my car. It was yours. You're a liar.
The AC was on. It was recharged.
You're a male manipulator.
You're just overly sweaty.
You put me. No, I'm not. I smell good.
Mark, as a fellow fat man, we sweat a lot, Mark, and you just.
And you know what doesn't help?
A fat man that's,
and
sweats
a broken air conditioner.
The air conditioner not fucking broken. I fixed the goddamn thing.
No, you didn't.
No, you just got it regassed. You didn't get it fixed.
Well, it worked. It has Freon.
I'm driving next time.
You're not driving, Mark.
Then I guess we're driving separate.
That is verboten.
Based on the way that we do things, Mark is the next one in line to drive.
And we'll be cold.
I'm sorry, it's true.
We'll be cold and comfortable.
And dead because you can't drive for shit.
But you know what else is that, without saying where we're going for our next vacation, is that we will be meeting you and Mark and me and Mr. Speaker will be meeting in the location rather than
Cash
us
at me
carpooling.
$100. I'll tell you where we're gonna be, chat.
But
Venmo me 5, and I'll tell you.
Once we get there, Mark wouldn't have to drive because I know my way around the place. So I would be driving while we're there. So there's less of Nelson complaining about Mark's driving once we get there.
I'm driving myself.
And I drive perfectly fine.
No, you don't. I
Mark,
thought we were gonna drive up those mountains.
Your little legs are ready to snap off.
You're literally like you drive like my
I've also
dad,
hurt
like
my wrist and
2
my
inches
foot.
away from the steering wheel, like both hands on the wheel on these mountain road. I'm like, we're gonna die. I'm gonna die in these fucking mountains.
He did fine in the mountains. It was the highway that you were like, what is happening?
And I was fine. I look, and I had the little flashing light, and even though it tells you there's a car next to you, I look, and I check my blind spot. And I only go over one lane at a time. I'm a defensive driver because I live in Georgia. And you'll be hunted down by State Patrol if you don't look out.
All right. We got past you guys checking into the hotel. This is the second time that they've stayed in this hotel. I get it for them because it's like 10 minutes away from my house on a good day. But what happened is that the main highway through Orlando, I-4, the exit from I-4 to this place that they were staying is right there, and they've decided to tear up the road. So it took us on average 20 minutes to get back and forth to their hotel because they've screwed up the exit so badly, and the traffic is just crazy. So next time I'm putting you guys on the other side of the road so I don't have to deal with that intersection ever again. Okay, so first night you guys were in town, what did we do?
Went to medieval times. Woo! And the Blue Knight betrayed everybody and was not loyal or honorable. This is the greatest fucking thing ever.
I had the suggestion that we
Jesus
go to
Christ, Mark. That wasn't me, everybody.
There's a dude next to me at medieval times. And he was like, they made us scooch in, and like it was weird because I guess COVID has like trained me where everyone knows that like stay in their personal bubble. He ate his entire family's chicken down to the bone, and then broke the bones open and ate the marrow out of the chicken bones.
So
and nothing else.
I made the suggestion that we go to medieval times. It's been like making huge comeback on TikTok. Like everybody goes to medieval times now. I didn't know there were so many locations. No, there was one hot person at this one. Well, maybe 2 if you consider the queen. But like there was one hot person. Everybody else was very standard, except for our Knight.
Our Knight had the kick-ass fucking Dad Rock soul patch. It was great.
I'm wondering why he wore the chainmail on his obviously bald head the entire time. I wonder if he has like head tattoos that they don't want seen.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe
it's like a fucking
has
swastika.
like his hair dyed. They wouldn't let him work at medieval times. You gotta like, they're a little more tact than that at medieval times.
so like
okay, he has a fucking massive like iron cross on his head.
I'm pretty sure he was Hispanic, so it might be something different, but this is Florida. Most people are mixed, okay? This is Florida. So like well, for the first thing is that like I went and got the guys, we decided to go there. We're just like hanging out in the hotel room because it's like, oh, it's kind of too early to go. And then like the meme that came up that my husband brought up was that like Orlando is an hour away from Orlando is entirely true because it took us over an hour to drive what is usually a 35-minute route while I was on like the light on my gas tank, like the light for my gas came on, and we were like we thought we would have like 20 minutes to spare and like look at the gift shop and like go to the bar and everything. No, we got there with like 4 minutes to spare and got in. And yeah, they do make you scooch in like you are like as four large
in that dude's lap.
I do want to say, I want to back up real quick. I want to back up. Chat.
Chat, we're not on Twitch.
Listen, chat.
What do you mean, chat?
Kai's road rage is like boomer
Am I seeing
level.
this chat? Is this real chat?
And I'm like, I want to
Somebody
be
clip
like,
that.
Kai, you're braver than I am because your level of road rage without owning a firearm is like that is some brave shit right there.
Okay. You laugh about my road rage, but am I a safe driver?
Yes.
See? It's not the road rage that's stopping and screaming at people and all that shit or cutting them off.
You gave the finger to so many.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
You're like, fuck you, motherfucker. Fuck you. Fuck
Also,
you. Fuck that.
I haven't had the chance to use it yet in front of somebody, but I'm stealing the birthing hips on the trucks.
Nice. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
You said.
Yes. Okay. So another meme that we come up with, I highly encourage everybody who likes to like push back at all these chuds who own dually trucks. And when they have the big, wide, flared fenders on their dualies, I say that we should say that they have a lovely truck with birthing hips to kind of emasculate them a
good Irish truck.
She will bear you many good young. They will be strong.
They'll be built for tough.
It won't make it past the famine, but it'll do.
Yeah, there's that. And yes, I do have my road rage is entirely contained inside my vehicle, though. It never seeps outside of it. But that's because of Florida traffic. Have you guys watched the Orlando traffic the entire time?
Oh my god, it's horrible. That double diamond,
so bad.
That double diamond nonsense is like, good god.
And like I told you guys, like you can't show weakness. You must show strength when you're in traffic because people will cut you off left, right, and center. If you want to get past the light, like you have to like stick to your position. You can't let more than about a foot between you and the car in front of you, or somebody will get into that space.
I used to think like if you want to see what bad urban planning was, go to Atlanta, but like, good god, Orlando is god awful.
I would say that, like, since I've been in the center of Atlanta a few times now, being the center of Atlanta is about as bad as being in the center of Orlando, where tourists are. Orlando, like the city, if you go to the city of Orlando where a bunch of tourists don't go, it's normal, like city, like sometimes it's one way, sometimes it's not. It's normal traffic. But where the tourists are, it's about as bad as being in Atlanta traffic.
Oh my god, it's horrible.
It's so bad.
When we met up with spoiler alert, when we met up with Sean and we got breakfast at that place, like that was lovely. That was a lovely area.
Yeah, that was right in like that's Soto and the Milk District, which is like the south side of downtown. It's like really cool, like place with a lot of good food and a lot of art. Like Orlando has really invested in having its art everywhere, on the walls, on electrical boxes, on everything, on the street corners and all that. Like it's like not a bad city to be in. But yeah, like if you have to do anything on 192, if you have to go like on iDrive or anything like that, like your life is in your hands.
Beware of Kai and her finger.
Beware of me, like flipping you the bird, but also not getting into a car accident. I have never, ever, ever had a moving violation, ever.
Knock on wood. And
I've been driving for like 17 years, 18 years, something like that.
Mark, on the other hand,
it's because he doesn't.
I've never been in a car accident.
No, there's a difference between car accident and moving violation.
Moving
violation involves acting like an asshole on the roads.
Yeah. The one time that I got pulled over was, I think he was looking for somebody else because I had a bunch of my stickers on there, and now I don't.
And a
now
frog
I
in the front seat.
Yeah. And a frog in the
forgot
front seat.
about that. You had it buckled in.
Yeah, because I'm fun and cool. I'm sorry, I'm whimsical.
This cop was like,
sunglasses and a hat on a frog.
Oh god, this person's gonna start crying. One of them.
Well, he just like drummed on his steering wheel for a minute. Like I watched him in my rearview mirror. I don't think he actually like did anything. I didn't commit a crime, so he was just like sitting there for a second. Not yet.
So yeah, we went to medieval times. We found out that it was not a British court. It was in fact a Spanish court. All of us had to change our expectations.
Yeah.
The Blue Knight decided to like fuck over everybody. started a big fight. We had
Hell
the
yeah,
Red
he
Knight.
turned heel. The Blue Knight turned heel. It was fucking great.
We had the Red Knight who was covering his bald and or tattooed and or dyed haired head with chainmail. What else?
Shout out to the shit collectors, the guys that they go out there and collect all the horse shit in between the acts. That was great.
And the wait staff who had to deal with kids
the
running.
Fucking those same three girls
You
were
gotta
like
close on those kids.
were fucking sprinting up and down the aisles constantly. I think one of them finally fell because I think one of the parents had to go grab him and like take him back, and they looked like they had fallen. But I'm just like, good God, that is like what Mark said, just clothesline one of them.
Like walking around with those massive buckets of food.
And they're hot too. They're like hot trays. It's like, oh fuck.
And then having three little girls just galloping down these dark wooden narrow walkways. So yeah,
okay, they'll eat shit and then they'll learn their lesson.
Exactly.
Mark, so it's like bench seating. So like if you don't decide beforehand who you're sitting next to, and you just like, oh, I'll walk after this person, like that's who you're sitting next to. So I had Mark was the first one, and then my husband was between, and then Nelson, and then me, and then like this lady who decided to get drunk was next to me, but she was perfectly fine.
Like she's having a good time.
He was just a little drunk, but then Nelson was off his fucking rocker.
Yeah, I was having so much fun. I was screaming like, he's got a chair. Let's go. Fuck yeah. I was like, fuck yeah. I was like, yeah, kill him.
And then Mark had the psychopath next to him.
Yeah, that was strange. I was like, dude, if you're not full, are you just gonna like look over at me, take my bones, and start like
you need them bones, kid?
Like, I don't know if any of y'all any listeners have ever been to medieval times before, but it's always been like, you always hear like, oh yeah, you eat all the food with your hands. Like, they're not kidding. All the food you eat with your hands. So you get like tomato soup and a piece of garlic bread to begin with, and thank God you have bowls at least for the tomato soup. And then there's
they just have you cup your hands.
right? And then they had like a half a goddamn chicken. Everybody got a half chicken to eat. And was it half a baked potato and like half cob of corn? Everything absolutely fucking doused.
Doused in paprika.
Yeah.
Just red. Everything is red.
It was fucking great.
And so you're like trying to watch these people do a show in front of you with like chicken grease running down your arms and everything.
Well, then I got nervous because I wasn't eating fast enough.
And like, pray,
and he's like bringing stuff out.
And pray you don't have to shit, because you're like, I was hoping, I was like, oh,
Lord,
not now, not today. Bowels, don't.
And like, thank God, like about like halfway through the show, the ladies who were next to me said like the people who were supposed to, like the other party that was supposed to be next to them at the end of the booth didn't show up. So they asked the waiter, like, can we spread out? And he's like, yeah, if they show up, you have to move back. But at this point in the show, they almost never show up. So they allowed us to spread out a little bit. Mark, did you even know that we like spread out? Did you get away from that guy?
Barely. I was kind of like just in his family at that point.
This is our son.
So yeah, like that was an interesting night. And of course, a twisty treat on the way home because we were out in Kissimmee. So of course, you have to get a twisty treat if you go out there. So then it's day 2. We did go out and we met Sean. Sean from previous shows of ours. He used to have his own podcast with other people. We met him for breakfast at was it 7 Bites is what they called it in downtown Orlando.
It was
in the
really
Milk District.
good.
Yes, it was really good. Everybody there was so like friendly and talkative. I wasn't used to that. Like everybody's like all the wait staff and the people who were working at like the cashiers and everything were like really friendly, and the guy who was at the front who like met us and explained how the restaurant works before we even walked in,
who looked exactly like that like old anarchist dude who like tried to burn down that ICE detention center a few years ago. Maybe he got away. Maybe that's him.
He's working the front door.
Probably. He didn't die. He didn't like die in a shootout. He survived and somehow got to Orlando
and is now working the front door of like an upscale but also not upscale breakfast spot in downtown Orlando.
I mean that would pan out for like a Pacific Northwest white anarchist. Like I'm like,
now you're just saying buzzwords, dude.
Fuck you, Mark. But yeah,
what did you guys have? Do you remember what you had?
I had those. I had the pancakes. I don't know what kind of pancakes were they. Strawberry. I don't fucking know. They're really good. They're good as shit.
Mark, what about you?
I had that country fried steak
Yeah,
poutine thing.
that looked good.
It was a mistake.
You're a mistake. Why was it a
Did you
mistake,
not like
Mark?
it?
It was all right. But it was like what's the word? Like sensational, I guess. It was dense. It was like
I want you guys
your
to
last
understand.
meal.
I want you guys to understand that Mark has a thing whenever we go on vacation together, and this is what, like our 6th vacation or something like that together.
Dense.
That every time we go someplace, he does not want to eat at chain restaurants. And in Orlando, that's very difficult, especially the area that we are in when we're in Orlando. It's all the tourist area. It's all chain restaurants. So every time that I have put in the effort, or in this case, Sean put in the effort of finding a non-chain restaurant,
I'm
Mark
not
still doesn't
talking
like the
trash
food.
about Sean's.
He's
No, I liked it.
Mark, the only time you've ever
It was a
enjoyed the food is
mistake.
when we go to chain restaurants.
What? What did you
The
say?
only time I've ever seen you eat all the food is when we go to a chain restaurant.
No, incorrect. Also, if I'm on vacation somewhere, why would I get something that I can get like at home?
Because you're just going to
Because we
complain
need to
either.
eat. The
Because
point of
we're,
being on vacation is to be together.
we're damned if we do, damned if we don't, because you're not going to like the food regardless.
Oh, it's always me.
It is always you. I'm glad you finally
Aw.
admitted it.
So anyway,
Did
yeah,
y'all see that?
we had a great. What?
The lightning. Did you see
I'm just
it?
ready. I'm just ready for that chair. I'm just ready for the
gonna
chair to
die.
break. I'm ready for
It's
the
not
chair
gonna
to break,
break.
like Mark fall over. That would be
I'm not that
Nelson,
fat.
we do not
icing-
we do
the
not wish
icing on
this
this
on our
cake.
on our plump siblings, okay? We do not wish that kind of thing on each other.
I think it'd be funny.
And we couldn't even monetize it because no one can see me.
We can describe it.
For
I'll
nothing.
I'll get the camera right when it happens.
So, okay, after we had breakfast with Sean, who is wonderful company, we had a great time. Really fun guy to hang out with. Next time I go back to
listeners, don't get any ideas.
Don't
okay?
interrupt Kai again.
Fuck you, Mark. Don't get any ideas, listeners. We're not going to meet up with you.
Sean is special because that was like we're on the same level. He had his own show at some point. Okay.
Yeah, you're not good enough for us.
Yeah, not good
Although
enough.
I
for
will
us.
say I have met one other listener, I think. Yeah. And they were one of our big fans back when we had a Facebook
Oh
page.
yeah.
I'll hang out with you if you're cool. If you're strange, then you can. I don't know. Are you gonna pay for like the coffee or food we're getting? Like, all right. Don't touch
Speaking
me.
of which, these two motherfuckers ran out on the breakfast that they owed us. These two
No,
right here.
I
that
had
I'm
no
talking to.
control. I had no control over it because I didn't drive.
There was a massive storm front coming in.
That
and I
didn't get to Florida until like 4
That
that
we didn't
afternoon.
get stuck in.
the radar said it was going to get there sooner. So
No, you just hate.
you're right.
visiting with
You're
people's
right.
families.
Actually, you know what, Mark? You're right. I wanted to skip out on having breakfast with some of my best friends who I'm not going to see for months. Yeah, I did that.
Yeah, it sounds
chat.
like you.
Yeah, it was me. Definitely.
You Italian goodbye. You said, "Yeah, I'll get you next time."
The
and then you never did.
the Italian goodbye is when you stay around too long and you don't you just keep staying. You don't leave. That's the Italian goodbye.
I'll get to our little visit with my family at the end, obviously, because that's when it happened. But
That was very sweet and sentimental.
The other thing that I'll say is that Nelson like texted me that morning that it was supposed to be the last morning they were in town. We're going to go for breakfast and they were going to come over and see my mom before they left town. And Nelson texted me and he said, like, there's this big storm coming. I want to get out of town quickly. And I said, look, I understand, it's fine, but my mom put a lot of effort into letting you guys come over. Will you still come over even if it's just for a few minutes? And he said, yeah. So they showed up at my house and they're there for like a half hour and I'm trying to give him the spot to be like, you don't have to feel like it's rude to leave if you're trying to beat the weather. Because I know what it's like as much shit as I'm going to give him. I know what it's like driving in that weather. I didn't want to wish that on them. I want them to get home safely, right? So I'm like, so are you guys going to hit the road? And then they stayed another 10 minutes and then another 20 minutes. And then and they're there for an hour. And
That's the Italian goodbye.
And I'm like, hey, you guys, like, hey, do you want to beat the weather? You want to get out of there? And like, the conversation never fucking ended. And I felt like everybody was looking at me like I'm trying to kick them out of my house, rather than say like, hey, I understand that you want to beat the weather. Do you want to go?
Your mom was just so happy to have us and showing us all the pictures, and we were all showing each other old pictures, and she just seemed so happy. I was like, I can't leave.
She was really happy.
She's the grandma I never had, always wanted. That wasn't racist.
Okay. We had breakfast with Sean, and then we went to Gideon's. I took Mark to a Gideon's so he could get some cookies, because he sent me a TikTok one day about the Gideon's cookies that are in Disney, and I told him like, yeah, Disney, they're constantly lined up around the building. I don't know why people go there. Like, Gideon's cookies are perfectly fine, but they're not like hugely special or anything. And there's another Gideon's location in downtown Orlando that nobody's ever at. So since we were in downtown, I took him to Gideon's. So Mark, did you try the cookies?
I tried one of the cookies, the pistachio one.
Mhm.
I shared it with my little family, and then the other one I did not eat. It was for somebody else.
What did you think of the one that you tried?
It was probably like when you're a kid and you watch a movie and you really, really want to eat something.
Mm-hmm.
It's like what that cookie would be. It was probably one of the best things I've ever eaten.
They're good.
It was the pistachios were like perfectly cooked. They weren't like raw.
Mm.
It was a good cookie.
So yeah, if you guys want to try Gideon's cookie, go to downtown Orlando. You don't have to stand in line at Disney for it.
I would say, I will warn that the cookies and cream cookie that I did not try was $12.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but they're also the size of a small pie. Like, they're huge. Okay, so after Gideon's, we went to Gatorland. We finally got to Gatorland, like we've been threatening for a very long time. So
which is also awesome.
By now we know that Mark is very, very aware and is affected by the heat, right? So what do? We take him to the swamp.
Hell yeah.
I was being so good. I was having such a great time, and then my body betrayed me.
The story of Mark's life. His body betrays him.
From birth.
Literally from birth.
No, it was like my mom's womb was either a little too warm or a little too cold and didn't go right.
Like you're a fucking turtle?
Yeah, well, that's how you, like, your body decides if you're going to be, like, born male or female.
That's turtle shit. I don't think that humans do that.
I don't need somebody...
Mark is a turtle.
Yeah. I am a turtle.
I can't believe turtles, and then, like, turtle shit.
And then, the level of testosterone in your mother's body. But yeah.
Hers just like right on the edge, didn't know what to do.
And then she smoked weed, and now
we'll figure this out later.
My brain cells don't connect right.
I think it was more than just weed, Mark.
So what did you guys think of Gatorland? Cigarettes.
It was amazing.
Nelson, what's your review of Gatorland?
My tism was pleased until I got too hot.
Then Mark had to jump in the swamp with the gators to cool off, and they thought it was a capybara, and they were just like, "He's chill."
Capybaras are mid. I'm sorry that's a controversial statement.
Holy shit! Fuck. Okay, Mark's getting muted. All right, now Mark is muted from that bullshit. Yeah, no, it was great. The whole Tucker and Dale duo that was doing the chicken to get the
gator jumperoo. Yeah,
that was pretty dope. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
And Kai called me out saying that the chubby one would have been my type, and she was right. Also, it's raining now. Can you see?
No, Mark, we can't see the rain.
No, Mark, we can't see the fucking rain.
The fucking rain cloud, you piece of shit.
You're a fucking piece of shit. That goddamn forehead. I'm gonna come and smack it.
Oh, there's lightning. Can you see the trees moving?
Yeah,
Get
go,
inside.
Mark. Go take an aluminum. Get an aluminum rod and just stand in your front yard holding the aluminum rod.
That's kind of what I'm doing. I got this chair.
If we lose Mark, it's because he's outside while there's lightning.
This would be the best TikTok ever if Mark just got hit by lightning. Looks like a bad. Looks like a
I'm
bad
just like
comb
being
over.
whipped around. This is my Donald Trump.
This is now an After
wig.
Dark episode.
My
I look like
God.
I gotta put the chair back or I might yelled at.
When do you not get yelled at?
Right, true.
The next GoFundMe is to like, get Mark his own place.
I want to get a trailer or one of those little pre-built homes and put on the other
Can I
side.
hear frogs?
Yeah,
I heard frogs.
I should have sat over here, but there's bugs.
That's why there's frogs. Anyway, yeah, took them to Gatorland. We watched Gator Jumperoo. We we saw Nelson muted Mark again.
No, I didn't mute Mark. Mute Mark. Jesus Christ. Mark muted himself. Now he just gave us the one moment finger.
Okay.
I just saw Mark's arm just froze. It was pretty funny.
I took the guys to Gatorland. We watched Gator Jumperoo. We saw Jolene. If anybody doesn't know about Jolene at Gatorland, Jolene has no top jaw, like nothing. It's like eyes and then a straight drop down to the bottom jaw. And they think that she was hit by a boat when she was a baby. And she's now a celebrity at Gatorland. I absolutely love her. So yeah, we went and did that, and we went for the little train ride. We got Nelson on a train, which was probably great. Just like a tractor with some stuff being dragged behind.
Fucking great.
And then it was supposed to cost us $3 per person, and I had all the cash ready. And the guy who was like, there's two ways to get on the train, right? You can give them $3 cash before you get on the train, or when you buy your tickets, you can get a wristband where you've prepaid for your train ticket. And there's people, like a whole bunch of people ahead of us, showing their wristbands, and I walk up to him with the cash in my hand, and he's just like did a head wiggle and told us to get on the train. So we fully didn't pay to get on the train.
And then did you give it to him as a tip? He's just like, he probably knew. He was like, here you go.
But I don't even know if they're allowed to have tips because he couldn't answer the question when I asked him.
He knew.
Like, dude, just shake my hand.
Also, I love the discounts they gave. Like, Kai got the residential discount. I got the AAA discount, which is a pretty hefty discount. I was like, fuck yeah.
It's like $7 off per person or something like that. It was
fucking great.
Yeah. And if you're a Florida resident, you have to show your ID. They will not give you a Florida resident if you don't show an ID. But because I had my ID, I got 50% off.
We saw the Trump. This dude had Trump sneakers.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, that was gross.
Yeah. So after we took Mark for a walk through the swamp, which is my favorite part of Gatorland, is it's a genuine.
We saw snakes.
Yeah, we saw snakes and a snapper turtle. And so we went for a walk through the swamp. And Mark was about to fall down. So we took him over to Pearl's, which is like the kind of backyard cookout kind of area. Like they have a restaurant in the middle of the park, but we went to that one. And we had to sit in the shade under a fan for a while so that Mark could be human again. And the guy that was sitting behind us had the most god-awful Trump shoes on.
God-awful Trump shoes.
Also, Trump shoes.
Oh, Kai, tell about the family that was getting food.
Oh, okay.
We were all just like, this is why we all don't want kids.
Yeah. So
that poor mother, Nelson, you're making fun of a woman's pain.
Jesus Christ, Mark. Fuck you.
So
fuck off.
Nelson went to the bathroom. Mark went to the other ordering window, and me and Mr. Speaker stayed at this other ordering window. And there was a family ahead of us. So there was the mother who was younger than me, at least 5 years. I would say she was anywhere between 28 and 30. Her, I assumed to be husband and father of the gaggle of children that were there. And then it was either 4 or 5 children. They were moving so fast I couldn't get an accurate count. So they're right in front of us. The person in front of them finishes ordering. They move up to the window, and she is frantic because she doesn't know why they weren't prepared to order when they got up to the window. So she's asking all the kids what they want to eat. She's asking the husband what he wants to eat, and they're ordering all this food. So they're paying for They're paying either for either 6 or 7 meals, even though some of those are kids' meals. They're paying for 6 or 7 meals, and the person who was doing the cashier said that it was going to be $78 or something, which in Orlando terms and for paying for 6 meals is not that bad. But for her, it was obviously a shock, which I can understand. That's tourist pricing. So she's like shocked, and so she's feeling around for a card, and she's like yelling at the husband, which I understand. This is not like, oh, shrill woman. This is like, I understand what's happening. She's yelling at the husband, what did you do with the credit card? She's like feeling in all of her pockets, she's feeling in his pockets, she's checked. They have a gigantic stroller, like it's one of the ones that like 3 kids in.
Did his face just look completely checked out?
No, he had a child in his arms. So like imagine you're carrying a large log and it's over your elbows, right? And he has a child he's carrying like this. Is just arms in one direction and legs in another direction, carrying this child. And he doesn't say a goddamn word. He doesn't say a word. He's just carrying this child who's like in his arms. There's another one who's running around. There's 2 kids in the stroller at least. And he like doesn't say anything. So she's like feeling like there's a backpack. She's checking the entire backpack looking for this credit card that they obviously have for either their day trip or their vacation. She finally gets to like pay the kid who's working at the cashier point, which by the way, everybody who says like, oh, it's Florida, we don't have people like LGBTQ people down here. We don't have anybody who's obviously transgender, all that. The person who was working that cashier's point was like the royalty of I am obviously queer and probably transitioning, and I'm going to be this way in the most redneck of establishments in Central Florida. Like, good for them. They were awesome. That's Ryan. I'm pretty sure their name was Ryan. So shout out to Ryan.
Shout out to Ryan.
Who's working at Gatorland. So
hey,
finally,
them energy.
Like they finally find their credit card. They pay for this. And then we sit down with our food and they sit down right next to us. And I'm watching them behind like Nelson's shoulder. These kids who are just wild. Like they've got their second wind. They got their chicken nuggies in them and they're going for it. And like the mom and dad who just look like they're ready to be on another planet.
Oh my God. This is the second time like we've been in Orlando and we've seen just completely defeated parents. The other time was we were at the pizza place before we left. And there was I just remember looking across like behind y'all, and it was just these parents, and they just had this complete look of just like fucking kill me, where their kids were like yelling about something. It was just like, oh man, my parents would have slapped the shit out of me.
Which is not better.
It's not. Better. But it's like you can tell who was raised by boomers and who wasn't.
So yeah, okay, we did Gatorland. That was a good time. Where did we go that night? My memory is a black hole.
Hold on, we did Gatorland and then we went.
Oh, we went to Ale House.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah,
we went to Ale House, and so as you guys know, as you listeners know, I pretty much, except for one time when Mark did it, I pretty much plan all of our vacations because I'm a control freak and it's not anybody else's fault but mine. I'm also the one who's used to doing it. So I have experience.
I will work harder and Kai is always right. All podcast hosts are equal, but some are more equal than others.
Nelson, I said it's my fault. It's my fault for doing this because I can't let anybody else do it. What would you do if I told you to plan a vacation for us?
Oh, we would be fucked.
Mark did very well.
I'm not gonna lie. I will say one thing real quick. Kai, your like travel agency brochure, like slideshow that you made was fucking amazing. Like that should be, you should start like I don't know, Buffalo Travels or something and just plan people's vacation.
So yes, we decided, so because everybody that knows what's happened with like fucking,
oh no, didn't we call it Big Mountain? We called it Big Mountain Agencies or Big Mountain.
I don't know.
What did we fucking call it? Something was great.
But yes.
Shut up, Mark.
Could you read my thoughts?
He's painting.
Yes.
Could you read my thoughts where I was like, yeah, it sounds like a great name because you can't even remember it.
There, I just love how you just painting while we're supposed to be having an episode. You know, talk about me being distracted.
Well, someone used to play video games. I'm not doing that.
That's not on any of us, Mark.
It's not on any of us, Mark.
So what would you rather me do? Be politely listening and being quiet? Or what?
Being engaged.
I am engaged.
Mm-hmm.
I'm stimming, so you can't say nothing to me.
Oh my god.
Now you're
Fuck
now
off.
you're in the wrong. A bug bit me, so that makes you feel better.
Good, I'm glad.
And I hurt my wrist, so I'm
What
like,
else is new? That's another thing about Gen Z. They're always injured and hurt and
I
complaining.
think I got like
Nelson.
joint problems.
If there's anyone who's always complaining about not feeling good, it's you.
Yeah, you're like,
but
oh my
I'll
stomach.
still
I
get up
eat
and do
bad
my
and
job,
I can't
brother.
eat dairy, but I eat it anyway, and now I don't feel good.
Hell yeah, but I take a shit and I get back to work. You got soft hands, boy. You got soft hands. If your
just gonna
toilet
wait for the day.
if your toilet doesn't look like this after eating dairy, you got soft hands, brother.
No, I'm built different.
Oh yeah, we know incorrectly.
It's not nice. Some might say that's
You're not nice.
transphobic.
Good. That's what you get.
Anyway,
It's itchy.
so I was showing the guys the travel pamphlet that I made because we are going on vacation in the fall because trans people can't access travel documents anymore. So when they were supposed to come to
Yay.
England, we
I'm
decided
legally not
that-
allowed to leave the country.
Let's backtrack real quick. Let's be realistic. If Biden would have won, Mark still wouldn't have gotten the shit and gone to England with us.
I
Yes,
could have
I
forced
would've.
him into getting his travel documents.
I would have
would've
been able to
worked.
just do it instead of having the threat of my documents being taken away.
I would bet a paycheck that Mark wouldn't have done it.
Now,
Okay.
you would bet a paycheck that Mark wouldn't have done it on his own, but knowing that I would have been on his ass saying, "You're coming over."
Yeah, I
You
would
would've
have done
lost.
it.
All
I
right,
would have done it
we
in
would've had
time
to put-
to
we
not
would've-
inconvenience someone else.
Mm.
You know what? When you're not allowed to leave the country that you live in and go anywhere
It's
else.
not about that, Mark. It's about like we all know
No, it's not my fault.
that you
No.
wouldn't have gotten the
You're
correct
wrong.
travel documents. We would have had to check you as a pet and put you in a crate. I would have had to say
That's
this
why
is
I got
my
my
emo-
name
this is
legally
my-
changed.
This is my
and my
emotional.
license
This is my
says male
emotional
on
support
Mark-
person.
Mark, usually I'm on your side, but tell me I'm wrong when you were dragging your feet since last fall when you could have started the application process when I was telling you, hey, you guys are coming over next year. And I was saying you need to get your travel documents in order. And we even talked about it that like once Trump gets in, it's probably not going to be as easy. And then like the day that he gets in, we're like, oh shit, Mark can't get travel documents anymore.
I live in a different county, and I would be getting to the post office right when they closed.
You can print the form off online and do it and mail it in.
I didn't have my old passport.
You don't have.
So
to
then I
your
have
old
to say
passport.
yes, I did. And then I had to say it's lost, and then they take like another whatever.
And
So it's like a whole
this was
thing.
we talked about
It's a
this
whole
during
thing.
Biden's presidency.
It's the whole thing. Whole thing.
Excuses.
And then
excuses.
if I would have gotten the X, like I might have, then
Well,
then when
that
I'm
they
brought
would've
back
revoked.
into the country, when I would be brought back into the country, they would have taken all my stuff then. And then I would have been like put through like a whole whatever. So it
Anyway.
is not my fault that I'm
Oh, it have-
transgender, Nelson.
Oh man,
There's-
bullshit.
There are things that you could have done before now when I was on your
Yeah.
ass saying
Okay,
We should
okay.
get
We'll
this
see what
done.
the people decide. We'll see. We'll
All
see.
because we were talking about this from last October.
Okay. But
We're
when's
all-
the last time like I got stuff to do.
Sure. Okay.
I try my best.
I got my
Anyway.
passport. I got my passport renewed before. I'm just saying. When Kai was like, "We're gonna go
well,
to
you
England,"
can
I was
also
like, "All right."
afford to go into other countries.
Mark, we literally
gonna
were gonna
pay
go
for
to
you!
a fucking other country.
Yeah, but you had it before. So you had it before.
It was expired. I hadn't left the country in 10 years.
And you
But you
obviously
left
had one
it.
before for you to say that you lost one, Mark.
Yeah, Mark.
Yeah, that's
Why
when
did
I was
you have a
supposed to go to
passport?
Canada. I was supposed to go to Canada for my buddy's wedding, and then COVID happened.
Okay, anyway, we decided that we're staying in the United States so that we can all vacation together next year, which is going to happen. This is normal fighting for us.
I'm gonna hit him.
So we go to Ale House and like Nelson and I order the biggest thing that's on the menu and try to share it, and like we barely hit half of that thing.
Oh, because we got the mozzarella sticks, and our awesome waitress, she gave us another appetizer for free.
Because we ordered the mozzarella sticks perfectly normal, and then our waitress just shows up with a fucking 2-foot wide pretzel.
God. Hell yeah,
No,
she did.
No.
Hush. Bad.
Hush.
Don't make Adam edit anything out, Nelson.
I tipped her. Listen, I gave her 30% tip.
Yeah, but you wanted
Because
to give her 100%
asses.
tip. Nasty.
Mark, what was that? That is horrible. I can't believe you said that. That was uncalled for.
You've said worse.
I am not an animal.
You've said worse about people who are just trying to do their job. Adam, you can edit that out. We don't want to cancel Nelson.
Just put in fart noises.
I'm sure the Knights are trying to do their job too.
The Knights?
That one night you were like, "Oh, it was so hot that night."
I didn't say it like that.
Yeah, you did.
No.
And then Tucker and Dale. Yeah. Oh, I said she was. I just said she was
like
lovely.
Cletus or something in the show. You can't even remember.
Anyway, so yeah, we decided on where we're going to go on our next vacation, and then the next day is the whole crux of the vacation, because we went to the Bay Area Renaissance Festival,
which is the greatest fucking thing in my life. I look forward to it every year. And if it ever
video.
What?
Yeah, my brother watches this dude that lives in Orlando, and he's like, I saw you in the background of his video.
No!
No!
He said it had to be you.
Send it to me, and I'll comment as the podcast. Be like, hey, the podcast in the background.
Yeah, and then we'll be cyberbullied.
That'd be hilarious.
This is somebody that a Gen Alpha kid watches.
Yeah, this is like a
sorry, Mr. Beast was at the fucking Renaissance Fair. So, I'm Mr. Beast. I locked everyone in this Ren Fair, and they're gonna fight to the death.
So yeah, we went to the Ren Fair. This is our third year at the Ren Fair, and we are currently 0-3 for Mark being able to wear shoes at the Ren Fair.
Oh my fucking god! Jesus, Mark, you
it
just
wasn't as bad as it was
shoes.
previously.
Yeah, last year was the worst, but like, good god, Mark.
No,
Mark,
you don't know me.
First year was the worst. First year was
the worst.
Wait, was that the one with the where you wore with the horns and you stepped in? Is that the one where you got stung by something at the table and then the ants got on your feet and all this other shit happened?
No, that was a bad dream you had.
No, that happened. That
was the first time.
You got stung. Yeah, okay, that was the first time. Okay, I thought that was the second time.
He was walking around in his socks, and there was just like leaves and
he was just getting stuck to me. Yes, flotsam and jetsam. Like,
which you had the great
Spanish
outfit.
moss.
You look like a goat. It was fucking great.
Oh my god!
Yeah, but I also looked femme, and that was bad. But this time I look like I'm a boy.
That's when we had to stop at fucking
Don't even remind me. That was probably the nastiest.
Stop at Tractor Supply Company.
Oh no, that was the first time. Yeah, I don't have my testosterone anymore, so didn't have to worry about that.
Speaking of which, when we were on our way to the Ren Festival, it's about an hour and a half away from my house, and I always drive these guys. And we got about 20 minutes away, and Mark was like, could you please stop somewhere so I can go to the bathroom? I was like, yeah, I mean, they have porta potties there, but if you want to, we can stop. We were right next to a gas station, so I stopped. And he goes in and he comes back out. And I have to say, I would never accuse you of making that smell, but the smell of that bathroom followed you into my car.
Oh no, why didn't you say something? I would have
because how do I say, Mark, you smell like a men's urinal?
Yeah, it was bad. It was that bad. And there was like, I don't know, like the Eraserhead baby or something like in the floor. Like it was bad. Like I didn't even want to know.
And then Mark was like, I didn't know they sold condoms in the bathroom.
I've never seen that before. Well, in a women's restroom that like we have at the mall here, they have like sweet tarts, like the sanitary stuff, and like lip gloss.
Wait, time out. They sell sweet tarts in the ladies' bathroom?
It depends on the kind of area
because
that you're in.
it's clean enough. In a men's restroom, if you even like open your mouth, I'm sure you could get something.
The patriarchy has took from us. We could have couches and sweet
have
tarts in a
candy.
fucking bath. Men had to be
Right.
fucking pigs.
I've been in
And
one.
I gave that up.
I can't remember where, but I've been in one where in the coin machine in the women's bathroom, they had like KY jelly, and like it's a sex toy that fits on the tip of your finger. It's a tiny, tiny little vibrator, like with a little band around it. It fits on the tip of your finger. They were selling those in the coin machine.
Strange.
Yeah.
You had me a
It's
sweet
like
tart.
something you
at
get
sweet
at like
tarts.
the adult like book fair. Like,
And that's
was it
I
even...
don't go to anything like that. So it was obvious, like it was like it might have been a rest stop that had it. It was probably a rest stop. Like a highway one.
What? I want candy in the bathroom.
No, you don't.
No, the way that y'all
I've been in
spray
those
shit
bathrooms.
everywhere.
Yeah, it's awful.
So yeah, Mark dragged that smell into my car.
I'm
Thank
sorry.
God
I apologize.
it was only like another like 20-minute ride to where we were going, and it dissipated eventually.
That's sick. That is the worst thing I've ever heard.
And oh, the other thing, I don't know if we ever talked about this. We always make playlists. We make group playlists when we go on vacation. And I always, again, because I'm a control freak and I can't leave this to anybody else, I make prompts for everybody. They have to put certain songs on there. I've already started the prompt list for our next vacation.
Awesome.
So it's already
Hell
cooking
yeah.
in there. So yeah, we went to the Ren Fair. Unfortunately, we had to pay for our tickets this year. Boo.
Yeah, so how about last year we get free tickets? This year Kai gets accosted by some white dude fucking sitting in a chair talking about her umbrella.
Yeah, it's a
like-
parasol. Idiot.
and
punch him.
okay, okay, we were parked near the front, right? And we hear these two boomers who are coming from a car. They parked further down, but in the
Just
same area.
booming.
And they're coming
booming
down the
boomers.
walkway, and then there's another car that's next to us with other boomers who are getting ready out of the back of their car, right? So we're getting ready. There's this other set getting ready. There's these two boomers who are walking down the car, like the walkway next to the cars, and they stop. They had to pass us and go to the people who were next to us that they didn't know and ask if they wanted their discount tickets. Like they had discount, like a $3 discount thing. And we're like, oh, damn, like they just walked past us. They didn't offer us any discount tickets. They offered these two boomers the discount tickets.
Look at those queers. We ain't giving them discount tickets.
I
And
think
then-
that
You're going to
is,
fucking
like,
Ren
the
Fair.
problem.
And then we're in line getting ready to buy our tickets. And they're there. And they find another set of boomers that they had more discount ticket coupons to.
They're like,
But
"Hell
we're
yeah,
standing
brother."
right there.
These boomers without costumes are like going to Ren Fair and just like, we're going to boomer it up at the boomer Ren Fair.
Nelson, you
boomer.
should have used your privilege to say we'd like one.
Your boomer attraction privileges that you
Oh, yeah, that pirate boomer. Yeah, I bet that dude was rich too. You know,
So-
that guy had a fucking massive 401k.
So we had this weekend that we went to was the pirate weekend at the Ren Fair. They have themed
Arr.
weekends, and it seems to be the most boomer heavy of all the times that I've been. I've been to this Ren Fair, I think, close to 10 times now, and I've never seen this many boomers there. The pirate weekend was the most boomerified weekend, and we had a short discussion on why are boomers so attracted to this like pirate aesthetic out of all of the other things that they do. And was it Mark that said, I think it has something to do with like the no rules kind of thing? Like boomers
Yeah.
are like no rules
They
unless
can
we make
go,
them.
yeah, do whatever they want. Freedom, brother. Something like that, probably.
Freedom, no taxes, brother.
Because like this Ren Fair, it's in the middle of nowhere. It's deeply, deeply red country out there. But at the Ren Fair, it's this very interesting like microcosm of people who are just allowed to be who they are. It's a lowercase liberal kind of spot. You know what I mean? Like it's a very like yeah, it's very gay. It's very neurodivergent. It's very into your own interests. If it's tabletop gaming, if it's LARPing, if it's costume making, like,
furries.
yeah, exactly. Like it's a very lowercase L liberal space. And of all the times that I've been, this is the time where it's been the most like, oh, this is a bunch of right-wing boomers who have showed up here for this weekend.
There were more people there. Definitely more people there than last time. There were more vendors and more people. That place was packed.
Yeah. And I went one time earlier in the season with another friend who lives in Orlando, and it was not nearly the way it was when we went together. It was way like less crowded the weekend that I went earlier. Um, but yeah, like as much as Nelson says that like this is his favorite thing to do in a year, one, there was this boomer who decided to start talking to him. Like seating is at a premium, and we were trying to find food, and in some places it's just like posts stuck in the ground to make little seats. And I saw one open up, and I sent the guys over there to go sit on it while I was waiting for my sandwich to come out. And when I get over there, like Nelson is standing next to this seat waiting for me to come over, and this boomer guy and an actually very good pirate costume.
Yeah, I mean the costume was legit. Those boomers went all out for their pirate costumes. Like they really were like, Deborah, we're gonna go all out for this weekend. They like switched their biker leather to like pirate leather. One dude looked
Pretty
like
much.
an extra, like it looked like somebody from fucking Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah. But this guy just wouldn't stop talking to you. And I sat there, me and Mark were like sitting there, and like I kept
And
making
we were
eye
talking with
contact.
our eyes.
Like, oh my God, this is awful. This man will not stop talking. And I couldn't tell if you were in pain yet or not, Nelson. So like I finished my sandwich, and I'm just sitting there like, do I break in? Do I like try to stop this? And then finally I'm just like, I'm tired of sitting here listening to this guy talk about like his properties and like
Yeah,
all the
every
things
time
that-
he'd
talking
say
about-
something
he's
that's
talking
like
about
not
Tampa.
quite correct, we would like look at each other.
Oh, what did he say?
And
He said
it's
something
like,
about Tampa, and it was like something about Kai. You had just talked about this too, the Cuban sandwich, right?
Yeah,
Was it?
yeah. I just bought a Cuban sandwich. I was eating a Cuban sandwich. So
And he
yeah,
had given us the history of the Cuban sandwich before this
Yeah.
guy started yapping about the Cuban sandwich.
he was like, no, they were created in blah blah blah. They were and like Cuban sandwiches. So there was a huge group of Cuban people who left Cuba way before the revolution. This was like the late 1800s. That a large population of Cuban people moved to Tampa because they were starting the cigar trade in Tampa. Ybor City is very famous for having Cuban people still making cigars in the Cuban tradition in Ybor City, which is in Tampa, right? And that the Cuban food and the Cuban sandwich in particular, like the Cuban sandwich that's made its way worldwide at this point, were all like brought with them over there. It's still definitely Cuban food, but it is a Floridified Cuban food. And this guy was talking about how like, no, it was actually created in blah blah blah, and I learned and I spent, and we're like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? But yeah, so finally, like, I got him and like, hell, Nelson, are you ready to go? Like, yeah, I guess.
He was like, "What's your?" He was
rest
like,
of
"My
the
name."
day.
So, what's your name? I was like, "Oh, my name's Nelson." He's like, "That's a good name." I was like, "Thanks, brother."
But yeah, so we did that. We did a whole bunch of shopping. Nelson goes and fucks off by himself quite a lot of the time.
I was trying to find those glasses, and then I finally found the person who had them, and she was like, "Oh, I sold out last weekend." I was like, "God damn it!"
Yeah, so if anybody knows, Nelson is on the lookout for tiny, like historical looking sunglasses.
Yeah,
They're very small sunglasses. They look really good with his costume, but he
should have
forgot.
got them last year.
Should have got them last year. And Mark and I like went and stood in the perfume tent for a long time. Mark got a special blend perfume.
It's good.
The great thing is I could judge how long it would take you guys in a certain tent. So I would like, go a few tents down, and I'd be like, all right, they're gonna hit this one and this one, this one. So I judged it. So I would like loop, I would like double back, and y'all would be at the tent that I knew you guys would be at every time. I would just see Adam. I would see Adam standing out front, and be like, I found it. I knew it.
Well, that's because he's a 6'3" farmer in a fringed hat.
I know, right? It's like
So we have Nelson who's dressed like a wizard. What Nelson?
we forgot about we gotta talk about the show we watched. Those two dudes are actually hilarious.
Oh, okay, yeah. So quickly, we have Nelson who's dressed like a wizard. He's got a like wizard hat and big stompy boots and like a wizard cloak and everything. And Mark, who was like he
I
described
was a
himself as
normie
human
this
Shrek.
time. I'm sorry. I'll be
Human
better.
Shrek.
He's Robin Hood.
And then
No, human Shrek.
Mr. Speaker, who I had dressed like a farmer. Last year, I tried to make him Robin Hood, but his hat was really cheap and looked really awful, so I made him into a farmer this year. And me,
everyone
who's just
kept
like,
asking where he got that bow and arrow. And we're like, Walmart.
no, that was a cosplay bow that I bought at a fucking Comic-Con like
Hell
10
yeah.
years ago.
Hell yeah.
And then me, who's just like basic like wench kind of outfit. But we were all in green this year. We were green gang. So yeah, we went to this show that was basically a very, very watered down version of a circus sideshow. And I don't mean like people with physical differences sideshow. I mean like people who are doing weird stunts sideshow.
Yeah.
And they were really cute. They were fun. Like
Nelson lied to them about being gay.
I wanted the gay agenda pin.
I love how good.
Mark, didn't he say like, I know which one you want?
Yeah.
Like, damn,
Yeah.
bro.
So like these guys are obviously really used to like the kind of people that show up at a Renaissance fair, which is hugely neurodivergent and gay. Like that is the criteria of if you go to a Renaissance fair. And these guys do like a cool like little circus sideshow, and then at the end they say like you can tip us, or if you give us a certain amount of money, you can get these pins. If you give us $5, you can get this pin. If you give us $20, they have this laser cut wooden scroll pin that's called the Gay Agenda, and they like topped it off by saying like you buy it this year because you don't know if it's going to be outlawed next year.
And like they made bank on because everybody was going up to get that gay agenda pin, $20 a pop. They they made bank.
It was I really wish I had got one because I saw the show when I went with my friend earlier in the season, and I should have got one then, but my credit card was like flagged as soon as I came into the show, so I had to wait for it to get unflagged. By then I had already left, and then I went with you guys. I told Mark like, wait till you see this pin that they do at the end, and then they brought out the pin. I'm like, oh, that's really good, but it's $20, and we were trying to rely on cash, and that would have been like a fifth of my budget for the entire day for this pin. But yeah, Nelson, who is now appropriating queer culture, has decided to go buy the Gay Agenda pin.
Yeah, and then he gave me the $5 one for free because brotherhood.
After just straight up clocking you, it was pretty funny.
Well, it's okay to clock me for that. It's the other thing that's inappropriate to clock me for.
Yeah, for being dumb.
So, but yeah, the other thing is that as much as we really enjoy this place, one, we were dirty as fuck by the time we left.
Yeah,
just
we were
caked in black dirt
and sweat and
every time I moved my
nasty.
septum piercing, I could like
feel
grit.
Like when we went to that, there was a perfume tent. They were selling perfume oils, and the way that she would let you like try them on is that there was a cork in the top of each of the bottles, and she'd take the cork off and like stamp your wrist with it. And I turned my wrist over. I'm like, sorry for all the dirt. And she's like, oh yeah, like making fun of me because like everybody's covered in fucking dirt. And she puts this stamp on me, and I could watch like a bead of this oil drip down and like the black line that it was making down my arm. I was like, when we got home, I went in the shower and I was like, I blew my nose. I was in the shower, and I don't even want to describe what happened when I did that.
Yeah, it was giving coal dust.
We loaded
Florida,
16. We loaded 16 tons.
A lot of Florida is made of black dirt. Like you don't know what it's like until you're there. But yeah,
we got the black lung.
We all quickly kind of fell out because it was really fucking hot. It was at least in the mid 80s when we were there, and we ended up.
But I did not have a medical emergency. We planned ahead thanks to Kai.
Yes. Okay. Anybody who goes to these kinds of things, if you go to an event that's hot out, buy yourself a cooler. Buy a cooler, get a bag of ice, and make sure that when you come out of the event, you have access to an electrolyte drink, a bottle of water, a salty snack, and a sweet snack when you come out, which I made everybody do. We all walked into my local Publix at 10 o'clock in the morning in our Ren Fair gear.
And who got
and Nelson didn't listen to you.
And who got lost and took forever to find their stuff when we were all ready to go and didn't tell us where he was going and wouldn't respond to the messages.
That's not what happened.
That's exactly Kai. Come
Mark,
on,
we were all sat on the bench like waiting.
I was
for you.
not lost. I was getting what I needed, and then I know how to read. How can I get lost in a grocery store?
Do you know how to read?
Yes.
I don't believe it.
Nelson, you were the last one that could say anything like that.
Exactly, but I admit it.
Yeah,
Mark
Bama boy.
Mark just hasn't accepted the fact that Georgia education never taught him how to read.
No, it's math.
So yeah, if you go to like hot events like that, it is a game changer to come out back to your car or wherever you're going to and get in that cooler and have that stuff waiting. Like we fell on that cooler and grabbed all of our stuff out of it and just sat in my car in silence for like 15 minutes, just like eating chips and chugging like electrolyte drinks. It was brilliant. I love that. I bought myself my own cooler now because last time we brought that really big cooler, it took up like all of my trunk. I have the right bought myself a little pink cooler that's on wheels. You can pull it like a little suitcase. It's perfect.
Hell
yeah. So yeah,
if my power goes out, just know I love y'all.
Oh god.
Because it's storming real bad.
Here we go.
So we had a good time at the Ren Fair. It was very hot. We went to the joust. The old guy from last year won again this year. Sir Malcolm.
And they did the blood pack. A little kid didn't kick one of the fucking helpers this year. And it wasn't like that. He didn't. The guy. I guess that happens tomorrow when everybody dies and gets brought back. But they did have the blood packet. That was pretty dope. Just like blood
that's a lot of fun when they do that. It just shoots all over everything.
Oh man.
And then we went to the pizza place that I showed these guys. Nelson was on another planet.
Oh yeah, my bowels had betrayed me. By the time we got back to there was something about the heat in my tummy, and by the time we got back to the hotel, it was just like.
Please never make that sound again.
And then we got to the pizza place. I was like, oh god.
I don't think you'll understand that he shoved me out of the way. Like it was that bad.
Mark got out of the bathroom, was like, just like boop doo 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 doo. I'm just like, get the
no,
fuck out.
I opened the door to go wash my hands,
and he starts talking and like, my name's Mark. You know how like Southerners do, like they start that slow. I'm like in full New York mode. I'm about to shit myself. Mark's like, I do declare, I'm about to wash my hands. I'm like, get the fuck out of the way.
No, I have to remind you guys that my bladder was about to burst by the time I dropped you guys off at your hotel room. And like, I'm like in pain. I had to pee so bad. And the traffic was so bad for the last 15 minutes that I was trying to get you guys back to the hotel. And I had to drop them off and then go back to my house, which was another 15, 20 minutes away, depending on how bad the traffic was. And like, they're like, you go ahead into our hotel room. You can go pee in there. I cannot imagine if I had made you wait at this point.
You would have just had to go outside. Like a dog.
Just go in the trash can. Like in Dumb and Dumber.
and then the next day, like we said, like the bad weather coming and everything, we didn't get to go to breakfast, but they did come over to my house. Mom had a thing. So even though they've been visiting me for 4 years now, this is the first time that they've been allowed inside the house. So she put like a lot of effort into them coming over. And as soon as they walk in, she's like showing them all the old pictures, all of my family, like all my dead family on the walls.
It's endearing.
I'm like, they don't care. They don't care about all this stuff. And she's just like showing them all these pictures.
Surrounded by dead Indians.
Honestly, yeah.
You're people's dream, Nelson.
Jesus. First off, Mark, settle down.
Also, she said that it wasn't me, it was Nelson, because she didn't know if he was housebroken.
Oh, yeah, that's true. She was like, when you let a Sicilian in your house.
That Nelson's not allowed to use my bathroom at all. If he ever comes to my house, he's not allowed to use my bathroom. He can go out in the trash can.
You gotta start eating yogurt or something, dude.
Hell
you
yeah,
gotta get
brother.
that under control.
Definitely.
You're being barred from places.
And then the whole thing is that they had a very short trip over this time. 2 days is very short for them. We usually try to do 3 days with them in town. But we made it a short trip because we didn't know how much time off Mark was going to be able to get for our longer trip later this year, and like taking time off work and everything. And then what does he do? He calls out of work the next day when he gets home. So
yeah.
And Nelson did too, didn't you? Or did they just not bring school in?
No, they quote unquote canceled school because of the weather, and it was perfectly fine.
So yeah, y'all could have had a whole other day in town at least, but
I know, right?
I know, right?
Right.
Could appropriate my culture.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm from the Low Country. I say, I know, right?
That sounded, I don't know. That made my skin crawl.
When I
What was that?
when I say Kai, I'll take a stroll through the car.
No, no more botanical gardens.
To go walking in the garden.
The kudzu that
Take
is
his-
strangling up.
I got a kudzu. I creep like the Coletta says. I creep like the kudzu vine, which is slowly but surely strangling our beloved Dixie.
God,
35 years.
I'm so surprised I stayed friends with you through that. I think it was only the trauma of having to go through Mark's surgery that kept me
That
sane.
was a great day. That was a wonderful day. That set up so much podcast lore. That shit
And they
was
gave
so
me
fucking funny.
fentanyl.
Yeah,
So I was
they
ready
took
to go.
Mark on fentanyl. Oh yeah, make sure that he eats like maybe some chicken broth, nothing more than. And then we had Zaxby's.
We had
within an
Zaxby's.
hour.
Yeah, built different.
Mark's like, give me Zaxby's.
And then he had to learn about like what happens with ginger ale.
Oh yeah, the ginger.
Yeah,
we
I
still got to
saw
do
most
that,
of
Kai.
that.
We got to do that. We got to
Okay,
do the test. We got to do the double blind test for Mark.
when we get ourselves like a room with like a kitchenette or something, we'll do that next time.
Oh, man.
So, are we gonna try to do more episodes now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we could do
Now that Poppy is stable.
yeah,
Yeah,
now
my
that,
mom's not being airlifted. I don't know if I said that last time. My mom was for anybody that listened to the last episode, I don't know if I said so, but my mom, at the same time that Mark was going through everything with Poppy, my mom was airlifted to the hospital in downtown Orlando because she had an arterial bleed that nobody wanted to tell me about until after she was done with her surgery. So
Fine.
a lot of the reason that I was in Florida this time, every time I go to Florida, because I'm trying to like rehab my mom into being more mobile again. And that's why I was there for 7 weeks this time to kind of help my mom become more mobile. She's not, my dad isn't allowing her to drive. We're working on getting her stable enough to drive again, because the only way that exercise works for her is to be able to go out places. She cannot stay home. She wilts when she's at home. She's like a house plant. She's got to be put outside. So we're working on getting her more mobile again, but that's why I was in Florida so much for this past year. I'm going to be in Florida way more this year to get her more mobile again. But yeah, while Mark was going through everything with Poppy, and thankfully, Poppy's doing much better now, isn't he, Mark?
Yes, and he's being good and taking his medicine, so we should be a-okay.
Yeah.
They cut down his doctor's appointments with his oncologist, so good stuff.
So now that Mark is going to be in a little bit more of a stable position, I'm going to be in a more stable position at least until August. Maybe we can get some more episodes in, do some after darks.
Back to normal, guys. The new normal.
We'll get some guests on.
We're in unprecedented times.
I think after we end this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about what we should try to schedule.
Definitely.
So yeah, everybody in the Discord that I told you there's going to be an episode coming out this week. I told you so. Told you so. Since I'm the only one who's in there telling you guys anything.
I used to be in there all the time. I'm sorry. I get overwhelmed. I want to be everybody's friend. I just can't.
Mark, there's like 4 people in there now.
Oh, so now I can go back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now that we've alienated everyone, I can go back. Sounds good.
All right, guys. Anything else to add?
No.
Oh, I can say my little word. I haven't said my little word or my little phrase in such a long time.
And gonna end the episode now.
Nelson!
Give me my cue.
All right. What I used to say?
Mark, take us out.
Take us out, Mark.
Shaka Khan.